Okay, so here we are, Andres from GPU Audio. We're in AES New York, here with Alexander Wankhammer from Sonible. How are you doing? Pleased to meet you here.
Yeah, I'm doing great.
So what do you expect from the show? What are you presenting for us today?
We expect to have some interesting conversations like this one.
Okay.
So it's always good for us to connect with the industry in person, because the last couple of years have been all virtual, all not in person. So we really enjoy seeing people. We've been in contact over the last couple of months just virtually. So that's really the main reason why we're here. And the second thing is really contact to clients, like people who are interested in the products themselves. Like we have a small demo booth, so people can try the stuff there. We have a presenter. And it's always good to have, on the one hand, get people to know the stuff, and on the other hand, also get some feedback from existing users, so which is always good.
Are you presenting any new product here today?
No new product. I mean, we released a product in summer this year. So Smart Comp 2 is a compressor plugin, intelligent compressor. And it's the first time we're presenting it at a trade show, but it's not a new product per se. It's like a couple of months old.
And that's the kind of thing we can try on your booth.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, cool. And what's your vision of what's going on with the industry and software, especially you're dedicated to software for audio?
Our company is right now, it's about 8 years old, and we started with hardware and software.
Yeah.
And right from the beginning, we always try to kind of look at new technologies and see how we can build new stuff with the abilities of new digital signal processing. So we never wanted to emulate, some old compressors or so. This is nice, but other companies are good in doing that. We always looked at ways of exploiting the potential of modern digital signal processing. And that's why a couple of years ago we moved to machine learning, and in the end deep learning. And the main things that we do right now is we call it assisted mixing. So we have tools that are accomplishing classical things like EQ, compression, limiting, reverb, but they're able to learn from the signal and they adapt to the signal. So either they find the right parameters for example, a compressor, or they find the right reverb style for a certain kind of music and so on. So that's what we do. And yeah, it's good for beginners to get started, and it's good for professionals because you're quite fast, because the plugins kind of find their personalized preset, if you want to put it like that, and then you can start working from there.
I'm talking about new technologies. Any particular new technology you're interested in, or that you think might bring something new
obviously,
to the table? Really?
I think the whole field of machine learning, and particularly like deep learning, it will be the future in many fields. In research, it already is. I mean, a lot of stuff. Yeah, it was really a game changer. It is a game changer, and we also saw, because we started. For example, the EQ, we started with a model-based approach like years ago, which was not deep learning. It was just it was based on data, but it was just like a how do you say? Model-based is the best thing. Yeah, so we tried to imitate how a mixing engineer would do a certain task. And then at some point, with the last update, we switched to deep learning, and it was amazing, like the change from restricting the system with models and just taking the models away and let the system do what he wants to do just based on the data was amazing. And it was just a start, I would say. It's just I think it's just the beginning, and I think there will be...
It sort of came into life, the system itself.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that. That's the interesting thing, because if you do a model-based approach, you always know why a system is doing something, because you see the results and everything. If you do a deep learning approach, you try to find the right architecture. You try to find the right data. This is a huge part of it, and then you start training, and then it doesn't work. And at some point, when all the parameters are right, suddenly it starts working, and it's so interesting because you don't really know why it's working. It's sure you have.
You kind of set the starting point, but then the system do its own thing.
And it becomes better and better. It's really like. It's good, you have like 5,000 samples, it's okay. You have 50,000 samples, it becomes good. You have 500,000, it's really perfect. It's like, it's so interesting how it's scaling up with the amount of data that you have. And
you're doing this real time, right?
Yeah, we do it like, it's de facto real time. What we do is we have when you start up the plugin, there is a analysis button. You click that, and during the time the system is listening to the audio material,
Okay.
kind of collecting an observation, and this observation goes into the deep learning model. And then it takes
The real
a
time
couple of
audience.
milliseconds to compute a result. So it's not constantly doing the deep learning stuff. It's really like just taking an observation and then translates it into parameters.
Okay.
But there is also an option where there's a dynamic EQ thing in there too. And in this one, there is a dynamic adaptation that's kind of a mixture of the model-based approach and the deep learning approach. So, yeah.
So while the track is being captured, you can adapt the setting of your plugin.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly. Yeah.
interesting. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can maybe wrap it up there. That's about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll wrap up. Well, thank you for your time, for joining us.
Yeah.
It was really interesting to having you, and hope we can see your products live on the booth.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Great.
Thank you very much.
Great to meet you, and I'm also interested in what's coming up in your field. So
Thank
let's
you.
stay in
Yeah,
touch.
we'll-